Good morning from Los Angeles. Welcome to Power Hour. Every Friday, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. How is it going? Seems like we have a little bit of a sell-off on OPEX. I'm going to talk a little bit about the tariff fatigue, where the markets are. Obviously, share my positions. I'm trying to trim, actually. I don't like the way the market's acting. I'm going to talk a little bit about Bitcoin. I'm going to talk about Elon leaving Doge, what has been accomplished, if anything. Talk about a little bit autonomous vehicles and where things are going to go with those. And more importantly, paying very close attention to potential Japanese yen carry trade part 2 possibility. So buckle up. Welcome to Power Hour every Friday, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. I do 3 live streams on this channel every week. Mondays we have Trading with Sergio, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. Fridays, Power Hour, again, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. I have an amazing Telegram chat group with channel members. We're learning quite a bit from each other, and I think it's going really well. So if you want to support the channel, please go join. Then you can email me, sergio@sergioavadian.com, and I will send you the link of the Telegram chat group. So what do you get for that? You get a few things. First and foremost, you join the Telegram chat group, members only one. You get a live stream every week where we do one-on-one kind of sessions every Wednesday between 3 and 5 p.m. Pacific. And more importantly, without it being trading or financial advice, you get my trades live. So when I do execute, I post them on the Telegram chat group. I run this channel with full transparency. I post my positions for the rest of the subscribers every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, which will be today, on community page of the YouTube channel. So full transparency, wins, losses, gains, trades, long-term, short-term, investment account, trading account, all of it. And because I think there's a lot of fluff on the internet, and a lot of people only put up their winning trades, and I'm like, okay, well, if you're only winning, you must be really doing something right, or you're just fluffing. So without further ado, this market's selling off, so I kind of have to pay attention actually to some orders in there that I have, trimming some, adding some. And so to start with, let's talk a little bit about tariff fatigue. Let's summarize what's been going on with the tariff situation, right? Initially, April 2nd was Liberation Day, and we know what happened after that, right? Waterfall effect, elevator effect, express elevator effect, right? Things got hammered. S&P goes down to 4,800. Face ripping rally, almost back to all-time highs, and now it seems like we're rolling over again. But are we absorbing these tariff news better? It seems like the market's absorbing it better. It seems like the initial violent moves with every tweet or every announcement by the administration is kind of getting absorbed. However, that shows that there is fatigue now. Because honestly, since Liberation Day, April 2nd, and with the extension of it going out to July 2nd, 90 days, not much has happened. How many people have made deals? Where are these deals? And the latest bit of news, which was yesterday, and it may be affecting what's happening today, is yesterday Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent was on Fox. He said, I'm quoting, He said trade talks with China have stalled. Bessent says he believes more talks will happen over the next few weeks. Well, there we go again. Fatigue. I am obviously cautious. I'm paying attention to it, but to me, this needs to get resolved at some point, right? All these stops and goes and stops and goes, and not only the markets are getting tired of it, but the public is getting tired of it, right? We need to resolve at some point. I understand it's a negotiating tactic. I understand, we're trying to bring him to the table with fair. And first of all, I do believe that trade is not fair, what we do, but it's kind of our fault. The reason for that is we pivoted from being a wonderful manufacturing, middle class, reasonably high paying jobs that are manufacturing goods in this country. We pivoted with globalization to importing everything we literally consume. And then from a manufacturing economy, we went to a service economy. We went to a consumer spending economy. The numbers prove it. 75% of our gross domestic product is consumer spending. We buy stuff. How do we buy stuff? We buy stuff on plastic. We just charge it. Banks are willing to offer credit as far as the eyes can see, and people fall into the trap, and then they go spend money. Okay. But what happens when the consumer is stretched? What happens when tariffs kick in? What happens when inflation kicks in? And we know what has happened to inflation over the last 4 years, right? Pretty much everything we buy has doubled, if not more in some cases. So with all this, the tariff uncertainty initially hit the markets pretty hard, but now it's being absorbed to a point that I'm not saying the market's ignoring it, but all these stops and goes, right? Trump saying, oh, 140%. Oh, now we have a deal. Oh, now we're in Switzerland, we're talking. Yesterday, Scott Bessent goes, well, they're hitting a snag. Then Trump coming out and saying, oh, EU has 50% tariffs. Apple has 25% tariffs on all the iPhones they produce in India because they're moving the production from China to India. I mean, it's just too many moving parts, right? And it doesn't seem like we're going anywhere. I understand, again, a lot of people who support the administration are going to say these are all negotiating tactics. Okay. But during the negotiating tactics, what is the damage that's being done? Or if there is any damage being done? I think there is damage being done. There's damage being done to the trust of the U.S. markets, to the depth and liquidity and everything else that the world trusts, right? So one man's tweets moving markets up, down 5, 10, 20% is not what we're used to. And I'm not saying trade has been fair. It's not, but it was our choice, right? We were U.S. companies are the ones that shut all the manufacturing down in this country and moved it abroad because of cheap labor. We became from, a service economy or a consumer spending economy. Whose fault is that? I mean, a lot of the things that I see, the trend has been there already. So are tariffs going to fix it? Are we getting fatigue? Yes, we are. I personally am, right? And the problem with that is I'm a trader and I'm also an investor. Well, over the weekend, what happened? The International Trade Court, which is in the U.S., came and shot down the reciprocal tariffs that were in place. Market shoots up. Then after shooting up, it goes red. And today, deeper red, because Scott Bessent says, oh, Chinese talks are not going well. Okay. Volatility is fine, but God forbid if you're caught on the wrong side and you have overnight exposure, which I do in most cases. I'm not concerned about my investment account, but on the trading account, the moves are so large that, even if I trim, it's really not that much protection on the upside or downside. If I'm short something, Trump administration may say something and then it rips up and then my face is ripped. If I'm long something, we tank, it's taken with me. So it's really become a really difficult year to trade, actually. Invest not much, because invest, with that pullback, I bought a bunch of stocks that I wanted to buy for in my long-term account. Trading is tough, I'm not going to lie. I'm still up for the year. I'm still up about 30% for the year, but I don't know. I mean, the only way I'm doing that is by managing risk correctly, and then sizing correctly, because if you oversize, you're going to get blown out. So yeah, I do have tariff fatigue. I wish this thing gets over pretty soon. I understand it's early. I understand it's first 3 months of the administration. But it seems like every promise that was done, it's kind of either being walked back on. And to finish this segment, it wasn't funny. It was actually disrespectful, actually, of these journalists, because Trump has opened the White House to journalists, and he's taking questions almost daily. One of the journalists asked him, Wall Street is believing in the taco trade. And then Trump goes, what the heck is the taco trade? And taco trade is Trump always chickens out. It's the acronym, supposedly, for taco trade. So every time Trump says something, market tanks, people buy the dip, because they know he's going to chicken out, supposedly, and then come back a couple, 3 days later or a week later saying, oh, never mind. This is ridiculous. This is not how the markets are supposed to work. We need some balance. We need some cooler heads to prevail, and we need to settle these things. We need to get going, because the administration may think this is a game. It's not a game. What it is there is a timeline in all of this. What is that? Midterm elections coming up. Republicans lose the midterm elections. If they don't accomplish anything the first 2 years, then what? It's a dead duck, right? Lame duck presidency for the next 2 years. They also passed a massive tax bill, the big, beautiful bill. While the bond market's sniffing it, the rates are going up, interest rates are going up, although Trump wants lower interest rates, and he had a meeting with supposedly Jay Powell yesterday. Obviously, they don't like each other. Trump wants lower interest rates. You're not going to get lower interest rates. Fed's going to follow the mandate. So all of these things are getting tiring, right? Tariff fatigue and all these announcements, the taco trade. What is happening? This is not the way this is supposed to be run. So yeah, I mean, I'm personally getting tired of it, but I don't know about you guys. So protect yourselves, right? Reduce overnight exposure as much as you can, and then most importantly in this, don't get pushed and pulled with every bit of news, because there's plenty of it. I don't think we had this many announcements by the administration in the first 100 days of this administration compared to the last 4 years of the past administration. I don't think we had that many in 4 years. So be careful, protect yourself, risk manage properly, size correctly, be patient, let things come to you, be balanced as much as you can. I'm trying in my trading account, short some things, long some things, and that's all you can do at the moment until things settle down. And then if they settle down, great. So that's that. So good morning, everyone. Welcome to Power Hour. Now that I see more people here, I will answer all the questions. I will get to comments, and I will also invite, if you want to come on, here's the link. After I'm done with the segment and I'm done with my positions, I will invite you guys, and here's the link. If you guys want to come on, you're more than welcome to. So good morning, everyone. So next one. I talked to my members actually on Wednesday about this, about the members live again. So there's a member chat group, Telegram chat group. If you want to join, without being financial trading advice, I post my trades there, right, wrong, sideways. I post everything. And more importantly, though, the chat group is made up of obviously traders, investors. I mean, they are learning quite a bit from me, but I'm also learning from them. It's really, really amazing, actually, the exchanges that we're having. So I talked to my members about this last Wednesday, this Wednesday, a couple of days ago. I have been talking about it on the chat group quite a bit, not too much on the channel yet, but this is a segment that I will post individually as well. So the carry trade, the infamous Japanese yen carry trade. We had an episode of it. Episode 1 was last August. First things first, what is the Japanese yen carry trade? Well, the carry trade is just like what it sounds like. As an American institution, or any institution in the world, it could be sovereign fund, it could be a hedge fund, and hedge funds is mostly hedge funds, and they do this with 20x leverage, up to 20 times leverage. So you guys can understand a little bit of a movement can cause major structural shifts in what they're doing. So the carry trade, simply put, is, for example, let's say I'm a US hedge fund with billions of dollars under my disposal. I go 10x that. Instead of 5 billion, I push it up to 50 billion. This is an example. I'm not saying this is happening, but it is happening a lot. It's into the trillions, actually, the carry trade is. So what is the carry trade? Well, as an American hedge fund, I will go and borrow money in Japan. So Japan had deflation for 20 years. They're trying to bring the economy out of deflation. Deflation is as bad as inflation, by the way. And for deflation, what you need to do is you need to have literally negative interest rates in a country. And Japan had that for 20 years. Literally you can go borrow in Japan as a hedge fund to complete your carry trade is at 0%. Obviously, you're borrowing in Japanese yen. You're not borrowing in US dollars. So what is happening? So you're going and exchanging your US dollars to Japanese yen to borrow in yen. Then you come and then exchange that back to US dollars, invest in the US. Where do you invest? You invest in government bonds. You're borrowing there at 0%. You're coming here and investing at 5%. Easy money, right? Well, we're going to talk about easy or not. Or what do you do with that? You go borrow at 0%, come back here, buy US stocks. Last 2 years, indexes have gone up 23 and 25% respectively. But at some point, what happens is that there's always going to be a currency risk. Currency risk meaning you are converting this currency to do these investments. First, you're converting to Japanese yen to go borrow on Japanese yen. Then you're converting it to US dollars to invest with US dollars because you cannot invest with Japanese yen in the US. Okay. Well, what has been going on in Japan? Well, Japan actually has come out of the deflationary cycle. So this is two things that I watch when it comes to trying to guess when the second episode of the Japanese yen carry trade crisis may or may not happen. We're getting pretty close to it. So what's happening is that the 30-year JGB rates, JGBs, they have a 30-year bond rate, and we have 30-year bonds in this country. That's their treasury bonds in Japan. It has gone from 0.5%. Okay, listen to this carefully now. 0.5%. I didn't put up any slides today, but here's the chart. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's not that suitable, so I'm going to read it. So in 2018, the 30-year Japanese government bond yielded as little as 0.25%. Okay? As of yesterday, the same bonds are at 3.5%. So now let's talk about what is happening. So inflation is coming to Japan. Their bond market is raising the rates. Their debt to GDP is actually a lot worse than ours. Ours is about 135%. Theirs is about 250%, right? So what is going to happen? So, for example, if I'm a hedge fund that leveraged and went and borrowed at 0 and came and invested at 5 here, now those rates are at 3.5%. So the spread between their 30-year bond and my 30-year bond here, US Treasuries, where I invested, is narrowing. But more importantly, more than that, when the Japanese JGB rates go up, what happens? The Japanese yen gets stronger, right? So because there's more money going into the country, take advantage of the 3.5% rates. Nobody would invest at 0.25%, but more people will invest. So to invest in Japan, you have to buy yen. You have to convert your currency to yen. So yen is getting stronger. So my two key levels to watch is last time the Japanese yen carry trade crisis happened, yen went from about 152 to 140. Okay. And at the moment, we're about 142. So if the yen goes above 142, meaning $1 equals 140 yen, watch out below. It is not going to be funny. Because then what happens is all the people who borrowed at zero, let's say, and invested in the US stocks, and most of the money goes into the Max 7, by the way, or into the US bonds, they borrowed that money with Japanese yen. Well, Japanese yen is getting stronger. So I may be making 5% here, but what if the Japanese yen gets 10% stronger? Now I'm at a loss. Now I have to unwind all of that. Forced unwind, basically. So the currency risk is a big risk when you're doing these carry trades. This is done all over the world with different currencies and different assets, but there's massive currency risk. So when that happens, part two may be upon us. So something I'm really watching, and I'm trying to talk to my, talk to my members about it. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but we're getting pretty close. So if the Japanese interest rates keep going higher and ours stay the same, which we are, our 30 years at 5%, theirs is from 0 to 3.5%. Well, now it doesn't make sense to borrow there at 3.5 and come back and invest here. Okay. And also the currency risk. Because I may be making, even if I borrowed 5 years ago at 0 and invested at 5, yes, I've been collecting 555, but if the currency, Japanese yen, keeps getting stronger, I have massive currency risk. And I may be losing 15% on the currency exchange because ultimately to go pay that loan back, I can't pay it in US dollars. I have to pay it in Japanese yen. So I have to convert my dollars to yen. When that happens, yen gets stronger. When the yen gets stronger, my losses are going to accelerate. And so now I have to liquidate here and go pay my loan back there. And if I put on 10, 20x leverage, you guys can understand a little bit of a move makes a big difference. So, yeah, that's the Japanese yen carry trade. Watch for it. So I would urge all of you who are interested in this subject, watch the 30-year JGB rates and watch the dollar yen exchange rate. I have a little chart that I've compiled. It's live, and it shows me my key level is going to be 140. $1 equals 140 yen. If we go below that, that means yen gets stronger. Unwinding may be happening. So that's the Japanese yen carry trade. Is it going to affect the markets? Of course, because people borrowed zero there and came and bought NVIDIA here. Well, what's going to be sold? NVIDIA is going to be sold to go back and pay those rates. And most of this is done, by the way, forced, right? Forced meaning, when they put these brokerage houses, prime brokers are not going to allow these companies or hedge funds to get blown up. So they're going to go, hey, we got to close this trade. So that's that. And be aware. Always be aware of the macro, because even if you're a short-term trader, macro is important. You have to pay attention to macro. You have to pay attention to U.S. macro, global macro, what is happening. And tariffs are part of the macro. Excuse me. So, yeah, that's that. And I want to talk a little bit about Elon Musk. It seems like his duties with Doge, Department of Government Efficiency, has come to an end. He announced that on Twitter. He said he's coming back full-time. He's sleeping on the factory floors again because Tesla sales have been dismal. And we know why. I mean, there are knuckleheads out there who just go put Teslas on fire and key them and do all that stuff. I'm not sure what purpose that serves, but then there are crazies all over the world. You like Elon, you don't like Elon, you like what he's doing now. As a private car owner's car getting damaged because you're against Elon is absolutely asinine. It's stupid. You can't get more stupid than that. Okay, if you're that upside down, stuck in your mother's basement, doing this kind of idiotic stuff, you need to get a life. But the topic is Doge and what has been accomplished. Well, initially they said, yeah, $1.5 trillion in deficit reduction is going to happen. Then they got reduced. Then they got reduced. Then they got reduced. We're down to like a few billion now. There is actually on Twitter, there is a Department of Government Efficiency list of what they're doing. You guys can go check it out. But what has happened? So there has been massive brand damage to Tesla, obviously. But as markets do what they want to do. What happened? Even way before Elon announced that he's leaving government work. In fact, there was going to be at I think 10:30 Pacific, or I mean 10:30 Eastern. There was going to be a meeting in the White House in the Oval Office. Elon saying goodbye and Trump saying, thank you for everything you have done. What has been done? How much have our deficits been cut? None. We're on our way to 37 trillion. With this big, beautiful tax bill that they passed, push and shove, with a bunch of pork in it, the CBO is estimating that our deficits are going to go up another $3.5 trillion because of this, right? And what is the bond market doing? Bond markets go, well, that's too much deficit. Deficit spending is back as normal. Doge is done. Rates go up. And so, if anything, they tried. I'm all for it, by the way. I believe there's massive fraud and massive waste, and all these things are happening in the government. And should it stop? Of course. But is it going to lower the national debt? Is it going to cut the deficit? No, because we're still taking in $5 trillion and spending $7.5 trillion a year. That's not going to change. You can't, you just, it's, for some reason, balancing a budget in my household is pretty easy. And I'm not saying my household is the government, but that is my government here, right? So my house is my government. I got to run it properly. Well, Washington is the people's government, supposedly. Well, it's not being run properly. How do we get to 37 trillion in debt? Deficit spending. We spend money we don't have. Okay. In fact, Elon, before he became part of Doge, was saying countries going bankrupt. I fully agree. 100% I agree, right? But what has been done with Doge? Doesn't look like it's much. Yes, some people got laid off. Yes, government employment is shrinking. But where is the reduction in deficits? And it's not there. And with this tax bill that they passed, I don't know if it's going to raise my taxes or lower my taxes, but hey, I don't know. I mean, the CBO is usually conservative. That's the budget office. If them saying 3.5, okay, forget 3.5 trillion, 2.5 trillion. It's going to get added to the deficit, added to the debt, and hence, Elon said he probably goes, okay, I had enough. I have 5 companies I'm trying to run. One is taking massive hits. Tesla sales all over the globe are tanking because of political reasons. But now, what has Tesla done? It usually does the counterintuitive thing. Tesla went from $220 to $360, almost 50, just about more than 50%. So there's expectations now, massive expectations. Well, what are they? Omnibus robot, great. We're all going to have robots doing house cleaning in our house. Fantastic. Is it additive now, today? No. 5 years from now? Possibly. Can you price the stock of Tesla with everybody owning an omnibus robot or 2? Possibly. Don't know. It's not accretive at the moment. Number 2, robotaxi. Supposedly in June, coming up now, in about 10 days, there's going to be robotaxis, 10, 20 of them in Austin, Texas. Is it going to happen? I don't know. Is it accretive? Absolutely not. So Tesla, going up 50% with all these expectations, is it going to be buy the rumor, sell the news kind of a situation? I don't know. Well, we traded TSLL a couple times, but the point in all of this is I think Elon is a genius. I think he's trying to do good things. But I think this good old boys network in Washington is so strong, so entrenched in this spending craze that they're in, that even Elon with his computers and with his genius people taking in, trying to rein all this stuff in, I don't know. I don't think it worked. And again, there's definitely fraud and waste in the government. Do we need to stop it? Yes. How does that happen? Vote these idiots out of office. They haven't seen a dollar they don't like. They spend everything without having it. They have an unlimited credit card. And who is that? Who's financing that credit card? The American public. It's our money. It's our tax dollars being put on fire. Not only is being put on fire, another 2 trillion to 2.5 trillion every year is being put on fire that we don't have. Then what happens? We go to the Treasury. We go to the Fed. Okay, well, we need $2.5 trillion to balance this budget. Oh, where does that go? Where does that money come from? Where does that money come from? Out of thin air. 2.5 trillion is created. What has happened with that money? That money goes into the economy. We balance it out. What happens because of that? Inflation goes through the roof. Because the definition of inflation is what? Too many dollars chasing too few goods. There you go. So why are all hard assets at all-time highs? The stock market, gold, Bitcoin, which I'm going to talk next. Why? Because markets are sensing it. Because dollars are trash. Toilet paper. It's not worth anything. The $100 you had in your pocket is still $100 today, from 6 years ago. But what happened to the buying power of that $100 over the last 6 years? Can you buy the same amount of goods with that $100? Don't listen to the government. Government came out with, 2% inflation today. Is it 2%? Is it really? No, it's a lot higher than that. You just pull out that $100 bill, go to Costco. 6 years ago, you would have walked out with 12 items from a Costco with that $100 bill. Go today, you're going to walk out with 6 items. And the packaging is probably smaller. So all I'm trying to say is Doge was a good idea. All this was a good idea. We just have to make this mandatory. We need to have a balanced budget. If the budget is not balanced without borrowing, it shouldn't pass. But then Washington is Washington. There are powerful players, powerful lobbies there. And somehow the can just got kicked down the road again. So Elon is back. Tesla, all these promises. Is it going to happen? Probably. It's going to happen 5-10 years from now. Should Tesla get priced with what's going to happen 5, 6, 10 years from now? Are there going to be robo-taxis whizzing everywhere? Are they going to be as good as Waymo's? I don't know. At the moment, I've been in Waymo's a few times, and not in a robo-taxi, but in an FSD car, full self-driving Tesla. Waymo is far ahead. But then, self-driving trucks are coming around. I mean, what is going to happen in this country ultimately is that if everything is going AI, everything is going robotics, how are people going to make a living? We're talking middle-class, regular folk, okay? Not PhDs, not MBAs. If every restaurant is going to have robots cooking food, what's going to happen to these people? If every car on the road is an autonomous vehicle, what's going to happen to Uber drivers, Lyft drivers? What's going to happen? Millions of people. More importantly, the truckers. These people have been doing this for years, 20, 30, 40 years. It's like their family business. The lifeblood or lifeline of our country, moving product from ports to Walmart for it to go to stores. If those are all autonomous, at least on the highways, what's going to happen to these jobs? Are we going to go into universal basic income? Are we going to need that at some point? Besides, it looks like every job is going to get replaced by a robot pretty soon. So yeah, it's an interesting time we live in, and it's fascinating to me. And I will keep talking about this. And as most of you know, if you follow me, I'm a huge believer in Bitcoin. Why am I a believer in Bitcoin? Just Bitcoin, not altcoin, not any other thing. Why am I a huge believer in Bitcoin? I'm a huge believer in Bitcoin because of what I talked about, that debasing of the US currency is basically worthless, right? So, well, Bitcoin is a finite asset at the moment that we know of, digital asset. Bitcoin, finite meaning you can't make more of it, unlike the US dollar that we can go to the Fed or the Treasury and go, let's just add a few more zeros to the ledger, create more dollars out of thin air. Well, you can't create Bitcoins out of thin air. There's 21 million of them out there. And we know what's happening with Michael Saylor. We know what's happening with MicroStrategy or Strategy, let's say. But now other companies are doing pretty much what Michael Saylor has been doing. I guess they're approving his infinite money glitch on Wall Street. What is the infinite money glitch? Well, what Michael Saylor does, he runs a company called Strategy. Symbol is MSTR. They do ATM sales and at the market share sales, and they go buy Bitcoin with it. So at the moment, Strategy owns about 580,000 Bitcoin. They have been buying literally every week, okay? And at the current price of Bitcoin, it's worth about $62 billion. So the point I'm trying to make is, if you don't own Bitcoin and you think it's expensive at 105 and the deficit is not cut, the national debt is not brought under control, the M2 money growth keeps going up, meaning money supply keeps going up. We keep creating dollars out of thin air, pumping it into the economy. Bitcoin, gold, those two are the only savior. And I have a good friend who I've interviewed on this channel. He said, don't slave harder. Save in hard assets. Let me repeat that again. Don't slave harder, because the paycheck you're getting at your work, is it going up 6-7% every year? No. Well, it has to, just to keep pace with inflation, okay? To keep pace with the debasing of the currency, to keep pace with the currency losing value every single year. It's buying power. Well, Bitcoin, finite number, can't create more. And once all the 21 million are bought, obviously some people buy and sell. But for me, Bitcoin is not to be bought and sold. I DCA Bitcoin, dollar cost average. I've been doing it every Monday religiously this whole year, but I bought my Bitcoin in 2016. I didn't add to it until Michael Saylor was able to explain what he's doing, and I believe what he's doing. A lot of people call it a Ponzi scheme. A lot of people call this and that. I've studied it enough that I trust it. But now, who else is buying Bitcoin? And it seems like it has decoupled, actually. If you guys recall, during that crash that we had, when the market went down 20%, Bitcoin didn't even go down. And when the market came back, Bitcoin made an all-time high. Okay, who else is buying? The President of the United States is buying Bitcoin. Not obviously himself, but he has a company called DJT. That's the symbol. It's a public company. Again, I'm sure it's in a trust. He's not doing it himself. But they announced they're going to buy $2.5 billion worth of Bitcoin. Who else is buying Bitcoin? The meme stock of meme stocks, GameStop. They announced they're buying Bitcoin. A lot of other companies are doing what MicroStrategy is doing, because they kind of go, okay, well, if we keep dollars in the U.S. Treasury and we earn 3-4%, but inflation is 6%, we're losing money. So might as well go put it in a hard asset. Why is gold at $3,000 or $3,200? That's what's happening. People are getting rid of dollars and converting it into hard assets to keep pace with inflation and debasing of the currency. So what am I doing with it? I'm watching something called MNAV, and I don't trade MicroStrategy. I DCA and hodl Bitcoin, period. No other coin, nothing else. That's the only one that I believe. That I'm going to keep doing. But I also trade. What do I trade? I trade MicroStrategy, the proxies of MicroStrategy, which is 2x ETF of MicroStrategy, which is MSTU. And, I trade options. I trade the equity itself. But don't trade Bitcoin. Just buy and hold. Bitcoin is not to be traded. And according to Michael Saylor, he's not going to sell one Bitcoin ever. Right? Okay. Well, if everybody is buying Bitcoin, by the way, you don't have to buy Bitcoin physically itself. There is ETFs. IBIT is the BlackRock Bitcoin ETF. You can buy that. You can DCA into that. You don't need to deal with leverage products, because they're very, you have to understand what you're doing there. But for me, I understand it. But the thing that I'm really curiously watching now is something called MNAV on MicroStrategy. MNAV is multiplier to net asset value. So meaning MicroStrategy at, let's say, is $350 a share. They have 270 million shares outstanding. You multiply, the share count keeps going up, by the way. They're diluting, they're offering shares into the market, convertible bonds, preferred convertibles. They're issuing all these products into the market and buying Bitcoin with it. And somebody is lending them money at 0%. I would do the same thing. What they're doing is you multiply the share price with the share count, you come up with, let's say, $100 billion. That's what MicroStrategy or strategy is worth. Well, they're holding 62 billion of Bitcoin. Okay. So the ratio between 62 billion, or the multiplier between 62 billion and 100 billion, is about 1.5, 1.6, 1.55. This number fluctuates. When MicroStrategy was at 410 last week, that was up to like 1.8. So for me, I figured, first of all, why is it selling above 1? It should be 1-to-1, right? Well, it's not going to be 1-to-1 because the premium that MicroStrategy offers is because they create all these products, right? And so if you're an institution, you cannot go directly invest in Bitcoin. You can buy only in convertible bonds. They're issuing convertible bonds. They're issuing stock, and they're issuing preferred. You could be an institution that you can only invest in preferred stock. Well, they're issuing preferred stock to you. So that's why there is a premium on it. Could it go to par, which is 1-to-1? Potentially. What will happen to strategy price if it goes to par? It'll go down to $200 a share, assuming Bitcoin stays at 105,000. So that's what's happening with Bitcoin. My suggestion to all of you is don't trade Bitcoin. HODL Bitcoin, DCA, dollar cost average. You'll be a happy camper as long as the government's doing what they're doing, as long as we're debasing our currency, as long as we are trashing our currency. Bitcoin has a place. So I'm done. I'm going to go through my charts. Not tried to come on. I don't know. I don't think his camera is set up. So, all right. What's going on? Manny P, good morning. Vic, good morning. All right. Absolutely. What's up there, Sergio? Feels like a wild ride on horse with it. Yeah. Well, I mean, look, you got to do what you got to do. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. I don't do day trades, so it doesn't apply to me. Okay, that's nothing to do with this channel. Good morning, Vic, from my channel. Okay. Okay. Mojo. We don't want to get rid of you. Okay, cool. Anybody want to come on? Here's the link. You guys want me to put it up again? Here's that, and here's that. If you guys want to come on, you're more than welcome to. We can discuss whatever you guys want to discuss. Yeah, Mr. Gambit says, yeah. I mean, in fact, there was who was it that said it, that we're a much bigger version of Greece? I said that like 5 years ago. The only difference is Greece cannot print their own money. We can. That's the difference. Yeah. Yeah, the most beautiful bill. Yeah. Yeah, don't trade Bitcoin. Okay. Okay, so let me share my screen. Let's see where we are. We have been selling off when I came on. Nasdaq was down 300. S&P was down about 1.25%. Let's see where we are. Hope you guys can see this. This is as many positions as I had for a while, but you know, we'll see. We'll see where things are at. And it's tough. It's tough. I'm not going to lie. Trading has been tough. Okay, so let's start with the positions, and then I'll go through some charts and answer some questions if you guys have any questions. Okay, so I started July expiration, July 18th, regular expiration, third Friday. So when I say regular, so I'm going to say regular, you guys figure out it's third Friday. It's not weekly or anything like that. So I started putting on some sort of a synthetic on Webull. I'm up to 20 lots. So what I'm stock is 1180. I'm selling the 12.5 puts, buying the 15 calls, and selling the 25 calls. So what am I doing? I'm taking that money that I'm collecting from the puts. That's called a synthetic. Instead of buying the shares, I'm buying. So what I'm doing is I'm selling the puts. I'm buying the calls and I'm selling the calls. So with the credit that I'm collecting from the puts, I am spending some of it on a call debit spread. Okay. So what's going to happen? So stock is 1180. I'm doing the 12.5, but July comes. If it's below 12.5, I'm going to get assigned. So I'm doing this, by the way, at 1.5 credit. 1.5 credit meaning to the put side. So meaning after I spend the money on the call debit spread, I still have 1.5 left. And so that will lower my cost. Instead of getting assigned at I will get assigned at 12.5, but minus the 1.5 is 11. So if the stock is above 11, I'm good, but I'm willing to own Webull at 11. And I will add to this if they go to like 175 or 2. So I just started doing this yesterday. I'm long 4,500 shares of EVgo. Did I mention this as a joke on my Telegram chat group every single day? I said, did I mention I hate covered calls? I absolutely hate covered calls. So I have 4,500 shares of EVgo at 370, let's say. We're at 388. Yesterday, so I had sold the, as you can see, 4,500 shares and minus 45. I had sold to today's expiration $4 calls at 10 cents in my wisdom. I mean, look, it's not a bad thing doing cover calls. The stock is 388. They're going to expire worthless, so my cost basis is going to go down 10 cents. That's 3%. It's not bad. But what happened yesterday to EVgo? It shot up to 4.5. I'm like, and now we're at 388. Would I have sold it at 4.5? Probably not. But what I'm saying is that it ties you up. So it's not a fun thing. I don't like being in prison. And so next one. This is a new one. Members learned quite a bit yesterday on this. I put this position on yesterday, and then today it's going to be closed, hopefully. Well, we don't know yet. So what happened is that Oklo Inc., I shorted 400 shares of Oklo Inc. with an average cost of $54.33. I'm short meaning I sold first. That's why you guys see a negative sign right next to it. And then at the moment it's 50.40. So I'm up about $4 on that. It's just a trade that I was trying to make like a couple thousand or $1,200-1,500 out of it. But what I have also done at the same time is today's expiration, 54, 53, and 52 puts I sold against the short. So you buy a stock, sell a call. That's called a cover call, right? Because I own the underlying. While on this one, it's called the cover put because I'm short the stock. I'm short the stock physically, and I'm short the puts at the same time. So in the cover call side, you're long the stock, short the call. In this one, I'm short the stock and short the put. So what's going to happen? Okay, so I'm short. I shorted the 54s at 185. I shorted the 53s at 135, and I shorted the 52s at 105. Okay. If the stock ends up here, what's going to happen? I'm going to get assigned, right? Because I'm short the puts. I'm going to get assigned 100 shares at 54, 100 shares at 53, and 200 shares at 52. So that's going to close my short position automatically. And the total gain on that will be like, I don't know, $1,200-1,500. So it's not a bad trade from yesterday to today. I wish I had done more, but then it is what it is. Next position is Oscar Health. Oscar Health, we are, I have 25 lots going out to July 18th again. Earnings came out, stock popped to 18, pulled back to 14. Now what I'm doing is I'm selling. This is a straight up synthetic, no debit spread. I'm short 25 lots with an average cost of 180 of the 15 puts, and I'm long the 15 calls, period. That's it. It's a synthetic. Instead of buying the stock, I like doing these synthetics. It's going out to July. Then Pony AI. This is complicated position. I will try to explain it. I have a put debit spread on, but it's not 1-for-1. I'm long the $15 puts on Pony AI. Stock is 18.35. I'm short the 12.5 puts. I'm short the 20 puts. I'm short the 17.5 puts. Basically, 40 out of the, well, 50 out of the 65 long puts, I'm covered with short puts that I've collected premium in. At the moment, I'm dollar for dollar. I will have some more room to sell some more puts to make this a profitable endeavor. These are June 20th expiration, regular expiration. Again, I have 21 days to go. We'll see where that ends up. I'm long. I've been long these. I'm long 25 put debit spreads on SPX. I'm long the 5600, 5650s, and I'm short the 5640s. I did these at $2. Max gain is 8. So if we're at 5650 or below by that date, I will definitely benefit from it. That's like a hedge actually for this account. And last but not least, I'm long 4,000 shares of WeRide. Average cost 780. Stock is 980. So up about 10 grand on this position. I started buying back my calls to possibly trim the stock because I had sold covered calls, but I had also sold. So this started as a covered strangle, as we call it. So buy the shares, sell the put, and sell the call. Well, obviously stock moved up in my direction, and the puts went down. And I initially had the 5 puts, covered those, sold the 7.5s, covered those, sold the 10s, covered those. So, the put side has been really good, obviously, but the call side, to cover call again. The stock went up to 1175 yesterday. Well, of course not. Now I'm stuck. Well, so I'm short 15 of the June $10 calls and 10 of the June 12.5 calls. And we'll see. There's still meat left on the bone, but if the market's going to eat it, I want to trim it, take profits. I don't want to let go 10 grand. It's stupid to do that. Yeah, that's where we are on the positions. I'm actually trimmed today if WR gets to $10 during the stream. So I bought back the calls the 15 calls I had put out against the 4,000 shares. I bought back with a profit. The 12.5s I bought back with almost break even, and the 10s I'm going to let go. I actually am not going to touch the position going forward. I may trim the position in shares. So I'm long 4,000 and short only 2,500 shares worth of calls. So I want to raise some cash actually. Well, actually, cash is going to be raised automatically today if within the next 2 hours, or close stays under 52. It's 50.64. If it stays under 52, I'm going to get a sign. So that's going to release a whole bunch of money. So yeah, those are the positions, and hopefully you guys are there. Okay, any questions? Okay, you should do day trade. No, not gonna do it. Vic, why don't you grab a membership, come on and teach us how to do day trading? Because you seem like you're doing quite a bit of it. I mean, we're open to the ideas. We're open to trading SPX, puts, calls, whatever you want to do. Why don't you do it? It's Big Mac, bro. Big Mac a month. I don't know. Okay, so let's go through some charts. Hope you guys can see that. Big charts. All right, this is WeRide. Well, let's start with what should we do? First, let's set this up, adjust this the way I like it. Okay, so let's go. Okay, let's start with the positions in the account. This is Webull. As you guys know, this was a SPAC. This is like Hood, right? Webull trading, asset, stock and option and crypto trading platform. This came as a SPAC, $10. The next 2 days it went to 80. I thought at like 12.5 minus 1.5 at 11. I think it's pretty fair. I don't mind owning some, and that's where we are. We're at 1180. We got to pop out of it. It'll be a good trade. That's Webull. That's one of the positions. We'll go one by one. This is EVgo. EVgo. Okay, those labels again. Let's get rid of those labels because it's a nuisance. So yeah, that's with EVgo. I bought it actually on the earnings day. Really good earnings, good catalyst. Above, it's hanging above the 200 EMA. I'm still gonna hold it. But yeah, yesterday it went up to 450. Well, I didn't do anything about it. Well, because I was covered. Covered calls. Don't like those. This is Oklo, the short that I have that most likely is going to get assigned. It most likely will. I mean, 54s, 53s, 52s. Am I going to get assigned? Sure, why not? I'll keep shorting and do the same thing. So if you guys don't understand that, shorting the stock and selling the put, that's what I've done. The next one is Oscar Health. That's where we are on Oscar Health. This was the catalyst, big up day, huge gap, closing the gap now. I thought it's fair to do this here on a good, decent pullback. I like the company. It's profitable. You know, retest of highs is in play for me anyway, but pretty low risk trade, really. I'm doing the synthetic at $1 credit. So 15 minus dollar is 14. So if I do get assigned, I don't mind owning Oscar at 14. Although it's 1380, I probably will add at some point to this position. Next one is Pony AI. I'm long puts, short puts. This is the put debit spread. It is in a trading range between 17.5 and 21.5. Whichever way we break this on this one is going to rip faces on the upside or rip hearts on the downside, one or the other. We'll see. This thing went from 4 to 21, 22 because they have deals with Uber. They have deals with the Saudi government as far as autonomous vehicles. WeRide and this is WeRide and Pony AI are the same, basically same business, almost identical. WeRide also has a deal with Uber as well as the Saudi government in the Middle East for autonomous vehicles in Europe as well. And one has gone from 4 to 11, the other 4 to 21. The other one has gone up. It was like low 6. That's when I started buying the stock actually. But this one, NVIDIA also has ownership in this company, and that's what happened there. It came public at 15, stayed there, and NVIDIA announced they own 2.5% of WeRide, and then it went in 2 days. It went from 15 to 45, and then it bled all the way. It's down to 6. I like this. I like this as much as Pony AI. I'm in kind of a pair trade, short Pony AI, long WeRide. But stocks are to be bought and sold. I don't want to let 10 grand go anywhere. So I'll probably trim if we get up to 10 and a half range. Today I had a chance to trim, but I was covered with the calls, but now buying the calls back. I had a TLT position. I put the TLT, but TLT is the 20-year inverse ETF, 20-year note ETF. I put the position here. I was short the 85 puts, long the 95 calls, going out March 2026 and short the 110 calls. You moved up in my direction, had a $5,000 profit. Of course, greed is horrible. I let it go. And yesterday I got out with a few $100 profit. I actually had a loss on this, went from 5,000 gain to a loss because interest rates keep going up. So this is an inverse indicator, by the way, inverse ETF. Meaning if this is the price is going down on TLT, that means interest rates are going up. Well, I'm finally out of that. I'll come back to revisit because so many things have changed on the macro that I can't even keep track of shit at the moment. And SPX, obviously, I have to put debit spread. And let's see, what's that doing? Oh, it did sell off pretty hard, retested, rolling over. Okay, fine. It is what it is. So let's go. Let's start with that, with the 1 year, 1 day. All right. So there's a valid trend line that's being broken today. We actually 3-touched it, and today we fully close under it. It's pretty steep uptrend, but it looks like a little bit of a double top kind of a situation. This is the low, 48.35. Yesterday, almost 6,000, 59.75. A lot of gaps. Are the gaps going to get filled? I don't know, but I will definitely hold on my 56.50, 56.40 put debit spread, just a little bit of a hedge. And a pullback to the 200 EMA actually is 56.57, 56.68. So it could be, and that'll be a regular pullback. It's not like breakdown or anything like that. Are we going to go all the way down, retest the low? I don't think so. I think we bottom, but I think we have a little bit of a trading range or a sideways kind of a shit going on. Let's go through some stocks. NVIDIA came out with earnings on Wednesday. They were good, but then today they're taking it out. But, these stocks had massive rallies. I mean, stock is 86.62 on the low, 145 fortunes, man. Good money to be made. Apple is the weakest one. It used to be the strongest one. It became the weakest one. Now Microsoft is the strongest Mag 7 stock. Almost near all-time high. My allergies are raging. Meta, same thing. Tesla, I think, is down today. It's down about 10. Valid. Holy crap, hold on. Valid downtrend. Broke out. Moved about $70. All in expectation of Robotaxi and Omnibus Robot, which does not add a penny to Tesla's earnings. Tesla is a car company at the moment. MACD is kind of turning down. Correction to the 200 EMA will put us back to 300, which will be okay. A lot of people don't think it's true, but it is. So Tesla has been dead money for the last 3 years. Here's Tesla for 3 years. 3 years ago, August of 2022, Tesla is 315. We're at 348. So a lot of people argue with me. They go, how could it be dead money? It had split. I mean, who gives a shit? Split is factored in. Actually, if I go back longer, let's see. All right, let's go back longer. Okay. Actually, Tesla has been dead money since 2021. This is Tesla in 2021, July, August of 2021. Yeah, about 317, 320, and now we're about 340. So 4 years, dead money. Now, if you got into Tesla before it, it's a different story. But I'm saying last 4 or 5 years. In fact, if you did it, last time it was down to 100. The next time, look, stocks are to be bought and sold. This Omnibus Robot is going to be massive, of course. Am I going to own one? I don't know. Depends on the price. Am I going to own a Robotaxi? I'm going to own probably a few, have them make me some money. But still, fantasy. Nothing happening yet. So that's Tesla. And what else? Netflix is just superstar. Best Mag 7 stock, all-time highs at 12.15. Price is the price, people. Don't argue with price. So let me talk a little bit quickly about my long-term investment account. I was lucky enough during the crash to buy some stocks that I wanted to buy. Google was one. Paid about 143 for that. We're about 169. So hold. We'll add on pullbacks. Nike was another one. Paid about 53. We're about 60. I think at 52, 53, Nike is okay. So if we do pull back to 55, I'll sell some cash secure puts to add to the position. Next one was Kava. Like the company, like the food. Okay, cool. See, 79. I paid about 80 for it during the crash. Then it went to 70. Then went to 100 and 100. And now we're back to 80. Okay, cool. So next week I will sell some cash secure puts 75 level. Taking $3-4. Go out to June. If I get assigned, I will lower my cost basis. I want to accumulate Kava. Next one is Unity Software. I paid about 21 for it. I mean, I've been talking about this for a while. Up to 26, was up to 28. Still hold. No, So how many did I go through? 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, I bought and sold Robin and Saxo. I don't look on that account. I want to go for long-term capital gains. 1 year, 1 day past it. So, but if I do get a double in like 2 weeks, like it was with Robin, which is the 2x ETF of Hood, Robinhood, I'm gonna do it. That thing went from $66 to 28. And I also bought and sold Soxel in that account from 7 to about 11, and then it went up to almost 20. So when I do get doubles quickly, I will take it in whatever account it is, because doubles are not easy. So those are the stocks I have in the investment account. What am I watching? Obviously, whatever I have. Watching NVTS. They got a contract with NVIDIA and pulling back. It hit about 7.5. Massive gap left. I don't know. I'm watching it. I'm not doing anything yet, but I want to buy it in the low 4s, mid 4s, hopefully. That's one. A lot of the quantum computing stocks moved, but I don't trust any of those things. A lot of the Chinese names are pulling back, so I maybe time to look at those again. Baba down to about 113. So interested in that. Yin is the FTSE ETF, China Bull 3X ETF. Yeah, a little bit of a rollover, but I'm still interested in the Chinese stocks because they keep stimulating the economy there. But I'm also watching that Japanese yen carry trade situation very carefully. By the way, this is the US dollar index, I believe. You see what's happening to the US dollar, folks? Getting weaker and weaker and weaker, and people go, that's called the debasing of the currency. So against the yen, it's getting weaker. If it gets below 140, watch out. Yeah, long-term base is still holding there, but this is 3 years on the DXY. Market's going to pay attention to this at some point. At the moment, it may not. Winner of all winners, Palantir. I mean, the damn thing is up today. Figure that out. Although, I think it's losing a little bit of juice here. I showed Pony AI. Hood. Amazing. Is it up? Yep, up 27 cents. Look, a lot of these stocks look toppy to me, and the MACDs are rolling over, and so is the market. So I want to trim exposure, actually, and I may even actually press a little bit on the shorts, but we will find out what I do with these. What is happening here? So Vic says day trade. So Vic bought the low and sold the high today. Is that what you did? I don't know. I hope so. I'm surprised you haven't joined. You can learn a lot on the chat, Vic. Not the Vic that's already in there, so we may have 2 Vics if you join. Tesla we looked at. What else? That's about it. Yeah. If you have any questions, I'll answer those questions now. Okay. Anybody come on? No, nobody wants to come on. Okay, cool. Oh, let's see. Doug says, any thoughts on why the miners are struggling on their charts? Miners, what? Gold miners? Bitcoin miners? Bitcoin miners? I'll take a look at those. You can start with SPX USDT with one. I don't want to. I have enough. Okay, I'm telling you, join the chat and then give us some ideas and put your trades up. Let's see what's going on. I don't know. Talk is cheap, buddy. Put them up. Let's see your account. My account's here. I'm hiding. Miners like Riot and Marathon and CleanSpark. Is that what you're talking about, Doug? If that's the one, put a thumbs up. Then I'll take a look at them. There are many reasons for those miners to struggle. I mean, they hedge their Bitcoin positions with the futures to start with because less hash rate is less. You know, they're earning less. As you know, there's halving happened last April. You know, as it is 4 years, every 4 years it gets halved. So you need to spend more money to get less Bitcoin out of it. Marathon is doing something different. I think Riot, I don't know if they're doing it as well, issuing these convertible bonds and buying Bitcoin with it. And let's take a look. Riot. Yeah, I mean, dead man's EKG, man. They had to run. Underperforming Bitcoin, to be honest with you. But I mean, it's okay for for people who do cash secure puts and things like that. Yeah, it should be okay. Marathon actually did better than Riot, I think. Not really. No, I mean, big moves, obviously. Look, $9-10 to 17. It's a big move. But last time Bitcoin was 105,000. Marathon was 30. This time it's 14. Right? It's not it's a tough business to be in, being a Bitcoin miner. Clean Spark, same thing. They all look identical. They had their runs, and back to Dead Man's EKG land. They are definitely under. I mean, I wouldn't trade these unless Bitcoin breaks out of 110, like takes a quick pop to maybe 150, 160. Then you get on these. But otherwise, I stay away from these things. Yeah. Let's see where we are. Ooh, Oklo 51. All right, let's see. It's gonna be exciting. It's gonna be a finish, down the wire finish, under the wire, down the wire, whatever you want to call it. So I bought back some calls, as I said, folks, on WeRide. If I get to 10, I'll trim some of that today. And Tony, I'm a pretzeled up person. I'm I'm all over the place on Pony. So we'll see if we still have Oklo at the end of the day or no. If we're still short, I don't mind being short. Let's see if we're still on EVGO on Monday. All these cover calls are going to expire worthless today, so hopefully, I don't know. So that's where we are. Okay, folks. More questions? Any more questions? Yeah, they're just, it's tough business to be in. The StreamYard link is there. You guys want, nobody wants to come on? Come on now, show your face. Vic, come on, grab it. Let's see your 0 DTE trades. I'm not trying to be tough on you. I'm just saying we could use it, obviously. The volatility is there. If you're on the wrong side, what happens to those SPXs? I don't know. I did a bunch. I did the put credit spreads and call credit spreads, or iron condors. Those work. But with this volatility, I mean, limited risk, max loss is pretty clear from the get-go when you do an iron condor, and you're not going to get in trouble with both sides. I don't know how you're trading them. What are you trading them off of? Are you trading them off 2-minute charts or whatever? I don't know. But I have enough. I have other things I'm doing. I personally don't like day trading. So I don't think anybody makes money day trading. And I could be wrong, but I haven't met anybody who's done it for a long period of time and be successful at it. But I'm sure now somebody will say, oh, I have done it for years. I go, okay, well, show us how to do it. We want to join you. Yeah. So what else do we? So we talked about the 4 topics. Let's summarize the power hour. We talked about the tariff fatigue. I am tired. I think we need to end this silliness. Whatever's going to happen should happen. Number 2, we talked about Japanese yen carry trade, potential, possibility. Number 2, we talked about Elon leaving Doge and what Doge has accomplished. Doesn't look like much. And we talked about Bitcoin. And the president, through DJT, Trump Media, is buying Bitcoin. GameStop is buying Bitcoin. They're doing what MicroStrategy is doing with Michael Saylor. Infinite money glitch. Is this all going to end up well? Is it a Ponzi scheme? I don't think it is. But then I'm open to suggestions and discussions, not debating, discussions. But I do believe in Bitcoin. I do believe in gold. And okay. All right, grab the link. It's up there. Right there. Let's see it. I'll wait for you. And what else we talked about? Yeah, we talked about those 4 topics. I shared my account with you guys. I will post my account on the community page every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Not trading advice, not investing advice at all. By the time you look at that, I may be out of it already because I'm only posting Monday, Wednesday, Friday. However, if you're part of my members group, you can click join and become a member. You will be getting my trades live on the Telegram chat group. If you join the membership group, email me, Sergio@sergioavadian.com. I will send you the link of the chat group. Amazing chat group, actually. You know, all these members. Amazing. And yeah, you get my trades live, and you get a live stream every Wednesday, where we can be face to face. We put you on, 10 of us, 20 of us, whatever. Exchange ideas. I teach him, whatever. Look at ALLR, Michael Anthony. Okay. Okie dokie. Let's take a look at it. Let's look at it. ALLR. ALLR. This can't be it, right? LRD Therapeutics, 85 cents. Is it ALLR? Let's get back there. Let's take a look. ALLR. $110. I don't pay attention to these. That's a reverse split heaven on here. I don't know. I will show you guys a crazy one. Okay, while we're at the charts. Hold on a second. ALLR $1.10. Okay. What am I looking at? It's like a reverse split after reverse split on this thing. This is 1 year, 1 day. Let's look at, I don't know. Okay. The penny stock. I don't pay too much attention to penny stock. This is 10 minutes. Okay. What support is 85 cents? It's just going down, $1.12 to 80. I don't know. I don't pay attention to these. I have enough trouble doing the other stuff. So yeah, I don't know about ALLR. Sorry about that. I mean, don't know much about it. All right, Vic, you're here? Yeah, you're here. Add to stage.
How are you?
All right. You're gonna show us your face or no? No?
You don't see it? Hold on.
No.
You
Oh,
see
now
it
I
now?
see it. Now I see it. Now I see it.
We're old school, you know.
Inch basis up there.
La vaktir.
All right, so
Oh, there you.
Vic
Okay.
is tell me, teach me.
You know, when I'm saying day trade,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying buy and leave it like that. Take all the loss. You just take 30 cent, 40 cent loss if it goes against you.
Okay. But you know how fast those SPX 0DTs move, right?
Well,
First,
yeah, I
I
know.
mean, there's 30, 40 cents is like literally less than a blink of an eye.
Yes. $1. $1.
Okay, so what do you trade at the monies, out of the monies? What do you trade?
You can trade out of the money, which is, like 50 point out of the money.
Okay, and then what happens to time decay as the day goes on? Do you bring it closer to the money if you're going to trade? Do you trade at a specific time of the day and then you quit, or all day long you trade? What do you do?
Usually, you know what? I don't care what time it is, what it is. I just trade when the charts are in my way.
Okay, explain that to me. What does that mean? Like, do you trade off a 2-minute chart, 1-minute chart? What do you trade off
I
of?
do. I guarantee look at 5 minutes, 2 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
15 and 30
Mm-hmm.
to see which way it's going.
So you go with the trend basically?
Yes.
Okay.
It's
So
hard to do against the trend
mm-hmm.
because, especially you go with the like 1 hour trend.
Okay.
If 1 hour is red, you try to do shorted.
Okay. Do you do mostly directionals, right? 0 DTE
Mostly
directional.
directional.
Okay. And a dollar, like, okay, I have traded these because I follow a group called Quant Data, right? We follow. Do you follow any of the Greeks or anything, or you're just feeling it and swinging it?
Let me tell you something. I know the Greeks and I know those, but honestly, it doesn't help because it's so much trading going on.
Mm-hmm.
You can you can start with one contract.
No, I
One
understand that.
dollar,
No,
$1.
sizing is not my problem. I understand that. What I'm saying is that though, the Greeks with the 0 DTEs and the daily flow, right? You have delta exposure, gamma exposure. You have most valuable contract where that is, and usually you gravitate towards that. If you have, positive delta, positive gamma, you have to pay attention to those because what happens is that those 0 DTEs flip during the day quite often.
Big time.
And trading him, like, why don't you trade the futures then? Why do you
I
trade the
do.
0 DTEs?
Here, look at this. This is the new company. I'm trying to go with them. It's
Okay.
futures.
How many screens do you have, bro?
4.
Why do you need 4 screens?
I watch I'm used to it. I
Okay.
like to listen to you, listen other people,
I get it. Okay.
what I'm talking. See, this is you.
So that chart below is what? The 2-minute chart or 1
This
minute
is
chart?
1 minute chart.
Okay.
It's the company. I made a mistake, I'm trying to learn I'm trying to learn how to trade with their charts. And instead of shorting it over here, you see this arrow?
Yeah.
Instead of shorting it, I put it by mistake long. One contract.
Okay.
And I went to drink water. When I came back, I'm in a loss. And it hit the thing. I go, I see it, it's a long.
Okay. But so what company is this?
It's Topstep.
Top Step?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
What
Yeah, you look
happened?
like you look like the Houston Space Center over there with all those screens, man. You know how many screens I have?
How many? 1.
Yeah.
Maybe you need 2.
No, I had 4. When I used to work on Wall Street, we had 8.
Yeah,
Doesn't make any difference. 1 or 4, it doesn't make any difference.
I
Actually,
used
the more
to
screens you have, the more confused you are.
look. You can trade with me, and let's see what happens.
Okay.
1 contract, but you
I
have to look. You cannot buy the options and leave it alone. No, you have to watch it. You have to
Well,
look at it.
obviously, but why do you do the SPX 0 DTEs while you can do the futures?
I'm gonna do both.
Okay,
The
no,
company.
you could do futures options. Okay, SPX, from what I've seen,
Mhm.
the 0 DTEs on SPX, not SPY. Those things move so fast, right? I mean, I'm talking like the dollar that you're talking about means nothing, because at the start of the day, when you look at those 0 DTEs, right? Obviously, they, at the monies are like $50, $40, $60, whatever they are,
No.
depending on.
I don't do at the money. I do like $5 to $2.
Yeah, but those you're not going. There's the delta is very low on those. You're not going to
Oh,
get that much
trust
movement.
me. When it goes with your way,
Yeah.
it moves so. Look, today I trade one of them. I
Yeah.
got out over $6 with the profit.
Uh-huh.
It went to $21.
Of course it does, because the market went from unchanged to down 1.25%, and then now it's back to where it was almost.
I know, but the thing
Okay,
is,
let me explain something. Do you know what the most valuable contract was today?
I didn't look at it. I'm not looking
Okay,
at it.
look. First of all, look at that, because most of the time, what they're going to do is the market's going to end up at the most valuable contract for both sides of the 0DTs to expire worthless, right? And so, I can't just look at a 1 minute chart and swing options. I just,
No, 1 minute. No, you have to go with the 1 hour.
you know,
Have to be your base.
yeah, no, I understand. So how do you deal with the PDT? Like, how do you deal with pattern day traders thing? Because you're day trading, right?
Yeah,
Okay, so you have an account over 25,000. Otherwise, you'll
yeah.
be PDT, right?
Yeah, I know.
Okay, yeah, because a lot of people, if you don't have, this is an important topic actually. If you don't have 25K equity in your account, you cannot day trade more than 3 times or 4 times actually a week, and then they'll put you
No,
on.
you can. If
Well,
it's
if you're in a cash
options,
account, you can, yeah, but
if
in a
it
cash account, it has to settle, and then you have to wait for the settlement, and then all that stuff. So,
no, but options you can do. Let's say if it's less than $25,000,
mhm.
it's what happens is, let's say you did worth of $5,000. The 5,000 goes away until the 20,000, and then next day it come back. So it's the same thing.
That's because it's cash. It's settlement. You have to wait until it settles, and then you can use that cash again.
Yeah, it settles next morning.
You're right. That's what I'm saying. But even in a cash account, you can do up to your cash limit. Let's say you have a $10,000 account, okay?
Yeah, yeah,
And you buy an option at $10 and then sell it at $12. You make a couple $100, right?
yeah.
That's only single one. You're done for the day. You can't trade until the next day because you used all your cash.
I know. I've
Yeah.
been
So
I've
that's
been
what I'm trying to
trading.
tell to the people who are watching, because like it all depends on what you're doing. But there is no day trading restrictions in ES futures, so you can trade futures and you can do in and out a billion times a day. I mean, if I was day trading, which I will not, that's what I would do. I would trade ES or
I'm
NQ.
tr- Look, this company. I'm trying to learn their. See, I made a mistake. Instead of going short, I went long.
I know, but why don't you have TOS? You can trade futures through TOS.
I got futures too, but I'm trying to do with their money. Futures, I'm going to do with their money.
Oh, you mean like what do you call those?
They're gonna fund $50,000.
And
They're
how
gonna
much are you
take
going to pay for that? 500
10,
bucks?
10, 10%.
No, no. Like, they have a lot of those
I
companies
paid.
that.
I know. I paid $50 to get in,
Okay.
and 150 as soon as I pass. But this, I'm new with their dashboard.
Okay. So you're in the funded accounts. What did they call those? They have those companies that you have to go through like pass few tests or whatever,
No,
and
only
then
you have to make $3,000, which I
yeah,
could have made more than. You cannot make in one day. It have to be. It have
yeah.
to
But
be.
do they have drawdown limits though?
Yeah, you cannot. Less $2,000. You have to start over.
And they have to pay them another $150 or whatever.
No,
Okay,
$50.
$50. Well, that's how they make their money, because most people can't do that. And then how many tests you have to pass through to get for them to fund you?
You get the $3,000. You make $3,000 over 2 days. They
Yeah.
pass you.
Okay. But what happens in those cases is that, how do they calculate the three? So the next day, okay, so today you made 1,000. Tomorrow you lose a 500. Do they take you back to 1,000 again?
That
Prop,
part.
a lot of these prop companies, Vic, you got to be really careful with it. It's really, really difficult to do it. Prop trading is difficult. Not too many people succeed at it. I'm not telling you not to do it. Do it. It's your money. Do whatever you want.
Look,
But
I didn't invest 500,000 to worry about it.
no, I get it. I understand. But prop trading, you know, Yeah, obviously everybody wants to trade with somebody else's money.
Yeah.
You know, but you know, I don't know. I mean, I don't have the time. Maybe that's why I don't do it. But yeah, so you bought one instead of selling it,
I
and
bought it.
so that's the futures that you bought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was and I couldn't make like, oh, it happened when it dumped and I wasn't here, you know.
Well, what
I
did you
was
say?
just,
You have to watch it.
I know. You know, I'm new. No, I put the order through the dash, through the monitor, you know,
Okay.
the charts. I put, instead of like clicking the sell stop, I clicked it buy it.
Okay. Well, you learn. You know,
It's
it's like it's a tuition you have to pay for those things. So
no, I didn't pay nothing. It was
no,
I
I'm not saying you did. I'm just saying that's like you to learn the platform. It takes a few days. So that's
yeah.
like you know. Well, good luck to you, my man. Good luck with the prop trading. I have a couple of friends who tried. There are so many out there now these days. Just make sure that they're reputable, that if you are successful, you can take your money out. Make sure it's one of those companies.
They're saying they doing it, you know, the people I follow it. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Because that's how they make their money. They have such restrictions on the drawdowns that they have,
Mhm.
and where you start the next day, it's like an uphill thing that they create. And that's how they make their money. Every time you fail, you have to start over. And then
I know that's why
um,
they charge the 10%.
yeah, you gotta just yeah. But the best way to do it is trade small, trade your own money. It's your money at the end of the day. You don't worry about any other bullshit. You know what I mean? But
I
no,
got my account and then I got this. I'm trying it, you know. Look,
no, definitely.
the reason I'm trying it, so I won't say what if I did it, you know.
Oh no,
So
I agree
I
with you.
won't have question.
I agree with you. You gotta try it. Give it a shot. You're not putting up that much money, so it's all good. And yeah, I am paying close attention to quant data, dex gex, MVC. I think today's MVC we're going to go right at it. Even after the sell off, we're going to go right back at it. So the way I trade those zero DTs, which I did about 7, 8 times already, and then to me it's like it makes me sit at the desk. I don't have the time to watch every minute. Because when you put an iron condor, right? You don't even
Yeah.
leg it in; you just put it on. And let's say SPX is 5,800 and MVC today is 5,780. You know we're going to close at 5,780. So you go 2 deviations up, 2 deviations down, put an put debit spread, call credit spread, and then you just time decay, right? I did it 8 times. It was 8 out of 8, but then it came close like 3 times. And I don't want to sit here and watch that thing. It just doesn't make any sense to me. But what I have discovered is that though,
Mm-hmm.
so if we do get away from MVC, like today, we got away really, really away, like hard from MVC by about 30 handles on SPX, and the
Mm-hmm.
way they brought it back, right? So when you get a waterfall drop like that, for whatever reason, news or whatever, and as long as MVC most valuable contract doesn't change with the zero DTEs and gamma doesn't flip, what I started doing and actually paper trading now, which I'm going to start doing, is so if we're at 58.20, but I know MVC is 58.50, and I know 9 out of 10 times they bring it back to exactly 58.50 to expire everything worthless, is while it's at 58.20, do like a 58.40, 58.50 call debit spread, put up like a couple of dollars with max gain of 10. And then I did it twice actually with real money, but I did it with like 2, 3 contracts and it worked. So now what I'm doing is I'm using their data, but not doing put credit spreads and call credit spreads or an iron condors.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just doing either a put debit spread or a call debit spread, and then waiting for MVC to be met at the end of the day or whenever it's going to be met. Usually it's at the end of the day. So you're only risking a couple of bucks and you have time. You don't have to watch literally. You're just
I know.
risking a couple.
Can I ask you something? Can
Yeah.
you why don't you? Okay, let's say they said your data is saying it's going to close 2,900, 5,900,
Yeah.
and the SPX is 5,920.
Yeah.
If you do just one sell or long, you know what I'm saying? It won't work for you. Out of the
Uh,
money, out of the money. Forget in the money, forget
no,
it.
no.
There's out of
No,
the money.
okay. So I didn't understand what you said. So we're at 5920. NBC's at 5900. What do I do? Or buy a
Short
put,
it.
meaning buy a
Yeah,
put?
buy the put out
Okay.
of the money.
Well, you can buy the put out of the money, but if they're going to bring it to, and usually, you know, the last 5 minutes of the day, you get that massive candle, right? Because that's
I
when they
know.
bring it to NBC. So you can buy the put, it will shrink to nothing, and then you're hoping for it to come back. So no, what I do is that if we're 20 to 30 handles away from most valuable contract, I will then do a, if it's above it, I will do a, and I know, let's say for 5930 is the price and 5900 is most valuable contract. And assuming they're going to take it, it doesn't happen every single time, but it happens 9 out of 10 times, is if they're going to take it to 5,900, so what I do is I do a 5910, 5,900 put debit spread. And I only put up like $2, $2.50, $3 max. Now, if I were to buy the 5910 put by itself, because it's going to go to 5,900, I'm going to pay so much premium for it that it doesn't make sense to be completely directional. But if you do a put debit spread and we end up at 5,900, whatever you pay 2.5, 3 for is going to end up at 10. And on the upside, if it's not there, you're only going to lose 3, 2.5 or 3. In the other case, if you just bought the put outright, 5910 put, and we don't go to NBC, that thing is going to expire worthless, right?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So that's what I'm actually doing, and doing it, you know, trying to make sense out of it, because for whatever reason, NBC is met ridiculous. I mean, I know today's NBC was much higher than after the sell-off. While we hit, it was much higher than that. And I will find out what NBC is and maybe do even a trade between 12 and 1 if we're far away from it. But yeah, good luck to you, man. Good to see
Thank you.
you.
Thank you. Thank
Good to
you.
meet you finally. Yeah,
Maybe Monday we can.
we can trade together.
Yeah.
Sure.
See what I'm saying, and I see what you're saying. You know.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. And I'll be live on Monday at 10 o'clock. And then if you're around, I'll put you on and we can do some live trading.
Usually, it's better. The trading is like 6:30 to 7:30 our time. You know.
Yes and no. I mean, look, today's sell-off came right in the middle of the day, right before I came on. So,
Yeah.
what I do is
But
that I joined their server, actually, their Discord, which is free. You can go join it. And but I have a subscription, and for them I have an additional screen. For regular TOS, I have one screen. So I can watch their
can
data.
you text me their site?
Yeah,
Let
it's
me
just
check it.
Quant Data, and go to Discord, and it's free Discord channel. It's called Quant, QUANT Data. And
Yeah.
they don't pay attention. By the way, they make fun of charts. They call charts chopsticks. They have zero attention to charts, none whatsoever. It's all about
Yeah.
data. It's all about data. It's all about where the big option players are putting their bets on zero DTEs, and it's all about gamma, delta, VANA, and most valuable contract, dark pool levels. But they have the software; it makes it all sense, supposedly.
Can
And
I ask you something?
huh?
Can I ask you something?
Yeah,
Don't you think you know charts,
charts don't work, man.
but don't you think it
According to
will
them,
help?
according to them,
It will help.
charts are meaningless.
Let me follow. Maybe I don't know because
Okay.
I don't
Also,
want to
that
say I'm good with chart. I'm okay with charts.
no charts. Look, in this type of market, big charts don't make sense. Trump says something, the market takes
I
off.
know.
They're gonna rip your face off if you're on the wrong end. Charts meaningless today, honestly. I pay more attention to daily charts than intraday charts, because intraday, who knows what the heck is going on. But daily charts still have some value, some. But quant data has no charts. They call charts chopsticks, actually. That's bullshit, they go, because it's all in the past. It doesn't tell you the future. What tells you the future is big data analysis and what the big boys are doing with their zero DTEs. Okay. It's free. You can join, listen. They have a trader, live trader. They put on live trades, actually. You can follow their trades. And I have a subscription to get their data because I'm trying to understand what their data is about. It's like 60, $80 a month, I think.
So how much they say the SPX is going to close today?
I didn't join the server today because I was doing my own garbage. But I'll find out what MBC is, and then I'll. Oh, you're not on my chat group. Okay. I'll get it to you. Let me see if I can get it to you.
You know, it's interesting what they said.
It is very interesting. It has nothing to do with and they do day trade, by the way. Every day they day trade. But they day trade off of data. They don't day trade off of some squiggly chart or or a Bollinger Band or whatever. They don't even look at charts. If you look at their system software, there is not one single chart on there. All they have is the option flow. They have net drift, how many calls, how many puts are being purchased, what's the difference between those two, how strong is delta positive. If delta is positive, market's going to go higher. And where's gamma? They look at just zero DTEs. They look at that, compile the information, and they do the trade. And they're pretty good at it. They're pretty successful at it. So what you can do is you can trade ES off their data, basically. Maybe I'm
yeah, not sure. It's the same thing. SPX, ES.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see where it goes. But I'm paying for the subscription for it now because I do want to understand if there is value, right? Because look, data is data. Because honestly, if you do go to any institutional desk, especially if you're like an option market maker or whatever, nobody's looking at charts. Nobody pays attention to charts. They all pay attention to gamma, delta, Vanna, MVC. They look at all that stuff. It's all about,
charts is for amateurs like us.
Yeah, maybe. But I that's why I can't just. That's why I like swing trading. It gives me swing trading is like I'd rather be long over a couple of weeks than over a couple of minutes.
I understand, but with this guy in the office, come on, it feels like he's looking his relatives saying, should I short? Should I say bad things?
That's why you can't day trade. That's why I'm telling you can't day trade.
No, day trade is safer than keeping overnight.
No, not necessarily. If you have Palantir, if you're trading Palantir and Robin overnight, look, overnight is big money. Okay, you can do a million day trades. You will nowhere get near what a swing trader would do. Like, okay, look at all these things that I put up. A Robinhood's 2x ETF going from 7 to 25. You can day trade a million times. You're never go. If you day traded Robin, which is the 2x ETF of Robinhood, day trade, close the position at the end of the day, you would have left at least 70% of that move because you're going to grab 10, 20 cents, but the thing is moving $3 a day. So no, it doesn't. Swing trading works, but look, I'm not telling you not to day trade, buddy. Do whatever you want to do. But join the server. Maybe I'll be there tomorrow. Not tomorrow, Saturday. Monday, I'll be there in the morning. They start at 6:30 when the bell starts.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a trader on stage, and it's free. You can look at the chat. It's completely free Discord server, Quant Data Discord server. And you just join, and you don't pay nothing. And the trader that's on, his name is William. And once in a while, he'll put me on the stage. I go like, say something. I'm like, what am I supposed to say, bro? I don't trade like this. But long story short, I trialed it for a month, and then now I'm paying for it because I think there is value in it.
Do they do spreads like you, or they just do?
They do mostly put credit spreads, call credit spreads. They do mostly that, and just let DK take care of it. They try to do a strangle, right? The iron condor, short strangle, and they do take directionals, but their directionals is, see, that's what I'm going to try to do, add my twist to what they're doing, as opposed to do, okay, so market, when it sold off today, instead of doing a put credit spread, go close to MVC and do do a call debit spread, and then let MVC take care of it. But that way, see, what they're trying to do is they never trying to pay premium. They're always trying to sell premium on zero DTs. That's what they're trying to do. And at the end of the day, expire worthless. Or usually they don't even take it to the end of the day. Usually they close it with like 60, 70% profit.
I know
And
people, they close before end of the day.
you have to, yeah, because weird things can happen. So they mostly take premium in. They don't put premium out. But I'm trying to put my twist on it. We'll see how it goes. I don't know. So I may be a day trader at some point.
Yeah, right
not,
now,
not,
everybody's
not.
doing day trade, because let's say if we cannot do it, we cannot say, oh, it's not working.
No, you have to try it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have tried it. Look, I have tried everything, but I think it's very difficult to do, especially at this time around.
No,
Because
right now,
one
now
tweet
I'm
away
chatting
from,
with you. I'm
yeah,
off. No more trades now.
yeah, yeah. So we'll see, but I'll get you the MVC if I can. Okay. And
Nice
then,
talking to you.
all right,
Nice talking
cool.
to you.
Be good.
Take care, my friend.
All right. See.
Bye-bye.
All right. So happy trading. Have a good weekend. It's supposed to be 90 in LA. I think we did enough damage. And see you all on Monday. Trading with Sergio, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. Please support the channel. Please like. Please share. Please put a thumbs up. What else? Become a member. See my winners and losers live. I have both. And email me, sergio@sergioavadian.com. That's about it. So have a good one, ladies and gents.